A wealthy billionaire CEO mocked the humble janitor cleaning his office, laughing at her simple life. He sarcastically said, "Fly my private jet, and I'll marry you," expecting her to walk away, humiliated. What she did next exposed a secret that left him speechless and taught him the most expensive lesson of his life. Daniel Cross stood in his penthouse office overlooking the city skyline, celebrating closing a $5 billion merger with his executive team, champagne flowing as they congratulated themselves on their brilliance and superiority. The janitor entered quietly to empty trash bins, a woman in her 40s wearing a simple gray uniform, her presence barely registering to the wealthy men toasting their success. Daniel, 38 years old and notoriously arrogant about his self-made billionaire status, decided this janitor would be tonight's entertainment for his equally privileged colleagues. He called out loudly, making sure everyone heard. "Hey, cleaning lady, what's your name?" The woman looked up calmly. "Sarah Mitchell, sir." Daniel smirked, his friends already chuckling at whatever humiliation he was planning. "Sarah Mitchell. Tell me, Sarah, what do you dream about while you're scrubbing toilets and emptying our trash? Do you ever imagine what it's like to be successful like us?" Sarah's expression remained neutral despite the obvious mockery. "I imagine many things, Mr. Cross, but I'm content with honest work." Her dignity under attack seemed to irritate Daniel further, as if her refusal to be humiliated challenged his power. Daniel gestured toward the window where his private jet sat, on a nearby helipad, visible through the glass. "See that jet? That's mine. Cost $45 million. I bet someone like you has never even been near a private aircraft, let alone inside one." His executives laughed on cue, performing their role as appreciative audience for their boss's cruelty. Sarah glanced at the jet briefly, something flickering in her eyes before her neutral expression returned. "It's a beautiful Gulfstream G650. Very nice aircraft." Daniel's eyebrows raised, surprised she knew the model, but he pushed forward with his mockery. "Here's a proposition, Sarah. Fly that jet for me, actually pilot it, not just ride in it, and I'll marry you right here, right now. How's that for a promotion from janitor to billionaire's wife?" The room erupted in cruel laughter as Daniel's colleagues enjoyed the absurd image of a janitor flying a private jet. Sarah set down her trash bag slowly, her demeanor shifting in a way that made the laughter falter slightly. "Mr. Cross, you promise that if I fly your aircraft, you'll marry me?" In front of all these witnesses, Daniel, sensing something but too arrogant to back down, nodded confidently. "Absolutely. Fly that jet, and you become Mrs. Cross. But when you can't, maybe you'll remember your place." Sarah's response was quiet, but carried unexpected authority. "I'll need you to call your pilot and have him prep the aircraft. Also, contact the tower for immediate clearance. I assume you want a demonstration flight, not just taxi on the runway?" Daniel's confidence wavered as Sarah spoke with surprising familiarity about aviation procedures, but he was committed to his mockery now, convinced she was bluffing. He made the calls, his pilot confused but compliant. Tower clearance granted for the billionaire's unexpected flight request. 20 minutes later, the entire group stood on the rooftop helipad. Daniel certain Sarah would finally admit defeat and provide the humiliation he'd orchestrated. Instead, Sarah walked calmly to the aircraft, conducting a pre-flight exterior inspection with professional precision that made Daniel's pilot watch with growing interest. Sarah entered the cockpit, her hands moving across controls with the confidence of someone who'd logged thousands of hours. She turned to Daniel, who stood at the cabin entrance, his smirk fading. "Mr. Cross, I'll need you and your guests to take seats and buckle in. This aircraft seats 19. I'll give you a 30-minute demonstration flight, standard takeoff, some maneuvering, and landing. Is that sufficient for your proposition?" Daniel's face had gone pale as reality crashed over him. This janitor knew exactly what she was doing. His pilot leaned in, whispering urgently, "Mr. Cross, she just performed a perfect pre-flight check. I think she actually knows how to fly." The demonstration flight was flawless. Sarah executed takeoff with textbook precision, performed several complex maneuvers that displayed advanced skill, and landed so smoothly that champagne glasses didn't spill. When the aircraft stopped, absolute silence filled the cabin. Sarah emerged from the cockpit, removing the headset she'd borrowed, her expression still professionally neutral. Satisfactory demonstration, Mr. Cross? Daniel could barely speak, humiliation and shock rendering him temporarily speechless. His executives sat stunned, their earlier laughter long forgotten. In the hangar afterward, Sarah explained calmly, "I'm Captain Sarah Mitchell, retired Air Force, 20 years of service flying C-17s in combat zones and humanitarian missions. After retirement, I found corporate aviation boring, so I took this janitorial position for steady income while deciding my next career path. I have over 8,000 flight hours, including 500 in Gulfstream models exactly like yours. Your mockery assumed that my current job defined my entire worth in history. That was your mistake, Mr. Cross." Daniel felt shame burning through his arrogance as he realized he'd humiliated himself far more than he'd intended to humiliate her. His proposal had been mocking theater, but Sarah's professionalism demanded he address it. "About your proposition, Mr. Cross, I decline. I don't marry men who treat service workers as entertainment or assume people's value is determined by their current employment. I hope this experience teaches you that everyone has a story, that dignity isn't determined by job titles, and that cruelty reveals more about the person delivering it than the person receiving it." She handed his pilot the headset, nodded respectfully to him, professional to professional, and walked away, leaving Daniel surrounded by executives who'd witnessed their boss being taught the most expensive lesson he'd ever received about the cost of arrogance and the danger of judging people by appearances.